There are moments in life when it feels like the world has turned its back on you, when every door slams shut, every prayer goes unanswered, every hope you held slips right through your fingers, and in those moments, you whisper to yourself, "Why me? Why now? Why this? But what if?" The very things breaking your heart are the things building your destiny. What if the path you wanted was never the path you were meant to walk? And what if, right now, even in the confusion, even in the silence, God is writing a story far bigger than the pain you're feeling? This message is for anyone standing in the middle of a storm they never asked for. For the person who tried their best, prayed their hardest, loved with everything they had, yet life still hit them with a force they never saw coming. It matters because when life hurts, we forget something essential. We forget that God doesn't abandon us in the dark. He rebuilds us there. There was once a young man, quiet, hopeful, carrying big dreams in his heart. He worked hard, prayed harder, and believed life would eventually reward him. But every time he thought he was getting closer to a breakthrough, something shattered. He lost opportunities he felt he deserved. People he trusted walked away. Life kept handing him chapters he never wanted to read. One evening, he sat alone, looking at everything falling apart. He whispered, "God, why? Why do you let this happen to me?" His voice trembled. His heart felt abandoned. He thought he had ruined everything, or maybe everything had ruined him. But what he didn't know was this: every closed door was redirecting him. Every disappointment was protecting him. Every heartbreak was preparing him. At that time, he could only see the cracks in his life. But God saw the foundation of the person he would one day become. Sometimes God's plan doesn't make sense at first, because we see the moment, but God sees the journey. We see the pain, but God sees the growth hidden beneath it. We see what we lost, but God sees what we'll gain. When you're walking through the fire, you don't see the refinement, only the flames. When you're broken, you don't see the healing, only the pieces. When you're hurt, you don't see the purpose, only the suffering. But every single thing you're going through is building something inside you: strength, wisdom, patience, faith, resilience, a deeper version of you that only pressure could create. One day, months later, the young man found himself in a place he never expected: a new opportunity, a new direction, a new chapter, and suddenly it made sense. The things that fell apart had to fall. The paths that ended had to end. The people who left had to leave, because the life God planned for him needed room to grow, room to rise, room to breathe. He realized something powerful. God wasn't punishing him, He was positioning him. God wasn't ignoring him, He was guiding him away from what wasn't meant for him. God wasn't silent, He was working behind the scenes, building what the young man was praying for, but in a way far better than he imagined. And in that moment of understanding, the pain turned into clarity. The confusion turned into gratitude. The storm turned into a story. If you are listening to this right now, maybe life has pushed you to your knees. Maybe nothing looks the way you hoped. Maybe you feel forgotten, unseen, unheard. But hear this with your heart, not just your ears. You are not being broken. You are being built. You are not being abandoned. You are being aligned. You are not losing your path. You are being guided to a better one. God's plan is not always comfortable, not always clear, not always easy, but it is always right, always purposeful, always leading you somewhere meaningful. So take a breath, hold on a little longer, and trust deeply, quietly, fiercely that God has a better plan for you than anything you've ever dreamed. Because one day you won't just understand the detours, you'll thank Him for them. And when that day comes, you'll look back at this moment and whisper, "It all had to happen, because God was preparing me for something greater."